What's cooking, Keto fam? It's Friday at 5, so you know what that means. It's time for Is Vodka Keto. Hey everyone, I'm your host, John Terry, here with my beautiful co-host and mother, Geri Terry.
It just doesn't feel right, JT.
You know, Mom, I was thinking the same thing. Why don't we slip into something a little more comfortable?
Let's.
Ooh, there we go. All right, we are here. It's Friday.
Thank God.
Right? It is Vodka Keto.
I hope and I pray.
We should probably get these microphones closer because
Get this in here.
don't actually.
Hello, Mama. Is this thing on?
Yeah, it was. And it was saying I was listening back to it. You could definitely hear the difference from when we are talking directly into it and when we're not.
Okay.
Is
that good?
You should probably put it right up on your face, right up there. The important. See, this is there you go. So it's just people on the audio only are just like, fuck you guys.
All
So
right. Here we are.
Yeah,
in all our glory.
we were gonna. I think we could save. We could save how different temperatures affect things like rising time for maybe next week. I mean, I don't even know if that's necessarily worth an entire podcast because it's
actually I can do it real quick and get it out of the way if you want to do that. When you're making bread and your directions say a certain thing, that, like the Pirates Code, is a guideline. Okay? If you have a cold kitchen, it's going to take longer. If you have a hot kitchen, it's going to take less long. If you're expecting storms, you're going to have a lot of moisture in the air. All of these things affect your bread. So saying that you should let something rise for, say, half an hour is a good guideline. It's certainly not going to take less than half an hour. What you actually want is to see your bread about doubled in size. That's what you're looking for. And that can take a half hour or it can take an hour and a half. So watch your bread. It will speak to you.
Boom. Wrap it up.
Okay, bye.
Oh, yeah. I think that if we did a podcast I can't think of any other we could go into so your ovens are just much.
Oh yeah, ovens.
Much in the same way that your temperatures are going to vary in the actual room. Your oven is just wrong.
You can kind of. I always have a little oven thermometer that I put in there. And you put it in the center of your oven, and that's grand. And you can get an idea of how close to 350 or 400 you actually are. But the fact is that the corner of your oven, the front of your oven, the next shelf underneath, there are hot spots. There are tons of different temperatures going on. And what ovens do is they bring you up to the temperature that you have chosen, say 400. And then once it gets up there, it stops. And then it doesn't kick back on again until it passes lower than a certain number. So, your oven may get to 400, but it may also, end up down as low as 350 before it cycles back up again. So be aware of that. What I do to combat that is I switch shelves. I will take, if I'm doing things on two shelves, I have two sheet trays of cookies. I will switch the sheet trays halfway. And if I'm just doing one sheet tray of something, I will flip it halfway through the cooking time. This helps at least for you not to get horrible hot spots. If you've got a really old oven, it's going to suck. You really have to pay attention. But this is true of home ovens, of commercial ovens. I've never worked in a kitchen that didn't have some kind of craziness in their oven that you just get to be aware of, and it gets to be second nature that you have to deal with that.
Yeah, you're in the commissary and you're like, okay, we're on oven 2, so we know that the hot spot is in the back,
here,
so we'll pull these down.
You know your oven, and again, just because it says to put it on 350 or whatever, if you know your oven runs hot, then put it on 3 1/4.
Yeah. I mean,
you really, all recipes are guidelines. They're just suggestions of what you should do with the ingredients that you need. So after you've made a recipe a couple of times, you feel free. I am not the mattress police. Feel free to change that up and do what works for you.
Yeah, especially we actually have had a couple of people reach out via email, something that you may not think about. We make all of these recipes at sea level. Welcome to Katy, Texas. Yeah. It's flat, and we're literally, you start digging and the water's underneath you. So if you live in Denver, that's going to change some things.
Yeah. And I have Googled it, and I can't remember it because I don't remember yesterday. I've slept since then. But you can Google it. Or I have Googled it, and if you want to take the time to email me, I'll send you what I Googled. So feel free to do that too. But it's a common problem that everybody is familiar with.
Also, time for a little shameless plug action. If you guys liked the recipe rehab video, please feel free, reach out. We'd love to teach you how to make your own recipes. If you want to do the biscuits, or if you want to, pick one of the 300 recipes on the old website, and shoot us an email and say, hey, I want to learn how to make this, and we'll set you up on a Zoom call, and you can
walk you through it.
Yeah, we'll walk you through. You can hang out. You can drink. We don't require it.
We're not sniffing your glasses.
No. You do what you want.
As long as you're not sniffing ours.
But yeah, so let's see. Okay, so your temperature is going to change in your kitchen. Mm-hmm. Your oven's going to be shitty. What are some other things that typically fuck up in the old kitchen?
Egg size.
Egg size. Yeah.
I personally use large eggs. If I'm baking, because that's in between extra large and medium, and that seems like a good size to me. Now, if you're using really small eggs, or if you're using fresh eggs, you may have to bump it up a little bit. And the easy way to do that is to crack your egg and whisk it so that it's fairly homogeneous, and then you can add it a little bit at a time without worrying, am I putting in a bunch of egg white and I really needed some yolk and blah, blah, blah. So that's how you handle that if it just seems really dry. Remember, you're baking it. So if it's a little moister, it's going to take a couple of minutes extra to cook, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, you don't want to go shoveling lots of extra ingredient in there because that will change it. But, you've got to play with it.
Yeah, and the moisture part, I mean, if you're doing something, you're making the recipe and you're like, holy shit, this is dry. Like, add some more of the liquid ingredients, whether that be water or eggs or whatever you're doing. Like, just because we told you how to do it doesn't mean that you are an autonomous robot that cannot look at your recipe and go, well, maybe this worked for Geri and John, but for me, I need to add a little more water, or I need to add a little, I need to add a little bit more baking mix.
Just don't say, okay, well, they put in a cup, so I'm going to add another cup. Because
You're playing on the edges here, a little bit extra.
Because, and another thing that you have to consider when you're doing these things is that how expensive everything has gotten. And you don't want to, make your recipe and
fuck it up.
Fuck it up, and then not only have you fucked it up, and there's your time, but the bread mix itself, or
we know full
well,
y'all.
It gets expensive, so it's a cautionary tale. Just be aware that a little bit at a time, and it'll be fine.
Yeah. I think that's pretty good advice in all of life.
It's true.
Marginal amounts. Just like, you just because it's a little wet doesn't mean you need to throw a whole nother bag of baking mix in there. But also,
exactly.
If it's too soupy or whatever it is, you guys have eyes.
I mean, honestly, if it's really soupy, then you did fuck it up.
Yeah.
Write me an email.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes, look, well, we are no angels. Many recipes have been thrown into the trash can because we...
oh, gosh, I can't remember. Yes, I can. A couple of weeks ago, we were making a recipe for a video, and I've got all my ingredients out because you got to do your mise en place and you set everything up. So
that means that she's plating it. That for you guys,
no, it's not what it's put in place. It means get your ingredients together so that you can see them, so you know if you're missing something. It's prepping. Yeah. So I get everything together, and I've got a little container that I'm pretty sure is sweetener. Because why would it not be sweetener in a little container like this? And we make it, and it was citric acid. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, literally the whole thing, we had to throw the whole thing out and start from scratch. So, it's not the first time I've done It's not the first time
Label your shit. Don't
label your shit.
The problem with citric acid is we buy it in 50-pound bags.
Yeah, so sometimes you're going to have... small containers.
Yeah, and shit where, the markers will wear off, and then you're like,
yeah,
what is this? And if you don't get a little finger out and tasty, little taster.
Exactly.
You may wind up having some really sour cookies.
It was pancakes.
Oh, yes, it was pancakes. It was the bacon pancakes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Jess was trying to be polite. And she was like, I don't know. They taste a little sour. And I was like, what? Oh, my God. They don't taste a little sour.
It tastes like shit.
Holy shit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So also we can drop a little teaser on here. What we're going to do since you still have the CGM on?
Yeah, I do.
Nice. Okay, yeah, so we're going to do some CGM tests for you guys on different stuff. My girlfriend also has a CGM on right now. I would put a CGM on, y'all, but I've been doing lots of jiu-jitsu lately, and I'll rip that shit right off. Day one, 5 minutes in, and that's lame because they're $100.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Abbott's pretty cool about sending you free ones, but I imagine that if I asked for a new one every day, they would probably go, "Hey man, what are you
exactly what
doing?"
Are you doing?
I'm like, letting people choke me, and they're like, "We're not going to ask any more questions about that, but you can't have any more."
Keep your sex life to yourself.
Yeah, it's like, what are you into, guy? It's like, I'm just trying to monitor my diabetes. The diabetes. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get lots of hate mail for that. You can't call it diabetes. You can't say anything anymore. That's
what else are you gonna call it?
No, I mean you just can't say it like that. You can't be like the diabetes. That's anything that does anything anywhere anymore offends people.
Okay, well, so now is the shameless plug for The Coddling of the American Mind.
It's a good
Read
book.
it, guys. I can't remember the authors, but The Coddling of the American Mind.
Joe Rogan talks about it enough, so you guys probably.
And so does Z-Dog. So
does Z-Dog. Yeah, the Z-Dog. Z-Dog. If anybody knows Z-Dog out there, he's trying to jump on the pod. Tell him Is Vodka Keto would love to have him.
Oh my God, yes.
We'll work on that one for you. Have to send some cold emails, irritate some people.
Dr. Zubin Damania. He's one of my heroes.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we got the kitchen temp, we got the oven temp, we got elevation, we got adding variations in the recipe because of the star alignment and such.
Exactly.
I think that if I'm right, I think that covers pretty much most of the stuff that can go wrong. I mean, obviously, one of my favorite things to fuck up is I'm a huge fan of dropping stuff and then having to throw it away. I fuck that up pretty frequently. I remember, oh my God.
Oh yeah. Back in the commercial kitchen days, we had speed racks, and so you'd have
and then they'd be like hot
20 racks, and they'd be hot, so they'd still be soft, and they were racks that
they don't have
didn't
backs.
have backs on them
at the beginning until we
figured that one
out
with
the help of cold beer guy.
Yeah, and duct tape
and cold beer guy. Well,
but
the duct tape was
lose
first,
10
and
or
then
20.
You fuck it up.
Stop the rack
and then all the cookies are on the ground, and then you just
going.
it was at that point that you sit there, you question life, you question religion. You're like, why don't I just run into the street and get hit by a car? Because now I've done all this work and I get to clean up all the dishes, but I don't even get any fucking cookies out of it. Yeah. So
nope, I get to come back in tomorrow and do it again.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh.
Talk about losing the will.
Yeah. Super thankful that we have our co-packers. Shout out Cakes Keto and Stephanie, and then obviously all the guys, Josh at American Crafts, and
they saved my life.
Yeah, they've definitely. We'll have to do a podcast where we can talk after you get the stem cells for your hands, and we can see how that goes for everyone. But
my little wrists from all the cookie scooping and the bread rolling and everything. So.
But I think that about covers it. I mean, I'm sure you guys. Hey, in the comments on this, if you guys can think of some stuff that happens in the kitchen that can fuck up a recipe that we've forgotten, hit it, and we can talk about it.
Address it. Absolutely.
We can talk about it on the next pod. I guess that means that until next time is Vodka Keto. Yes. Boom.
Yes.
Woo. All right. Is Vodka Keto is brought to you by Ketonia. For the most delicious keto baked goods, stop by KetoniaFoods.com. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and follow us on all social media at Ketonia Foods. Please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. It does more than you know. We'll see you next Friday.